The room is dark. The only light comes from my phone screen. In the silence of the night, I scroll mindlessly through social media. My eyes are half closed with exhaustion when suddenly a notification appears on the screen, an anonymous message on WhatsApp. "Are you awake?" A simple message, but from an unknown number. My face is dimly lit by the blue glow of the screen. I hesitate for a moment. A strange feeling settles in my stomach, but curiosity overpowers fear. I type, "Who is this?" The typing dots appear, then vanish. Silence. 2:40 a.m. A few seconds pass. I put my phone aside, trying to ignore it, but just as my eyes start to drift shut, "Look behind you." My heart pounds. I freeze in place. Is this a joke? Maybe someone is messing with me? But something deep inside tells me this is more than just a prank. Slowly, I lift my eyes. A dim streetlight casts a faint glow through my window. In the mirror on the wall, a shadow appears. But something is wrong. I'm sitting, but in the reflection, I'm standing. I hold my breath, staring at the figure in the mirror. Suddenly, my reflection smiles. But I didn't. "You still haven't looked behind you." I can't take it anymore. With all my strength, I hurl my phone at the mirror. The sound of shattering glass fills the room. At that exact moment, the lights go out. Total darkness. My ragged breathing is the only sound. My phone lies on the floor, its screen still faintly glowing. With a shaking hand, I pick it up and turn on the flashlight. A weak beam illuminates my surroundings, but the shadows seem heavier. I feel someone in the room, but I can't see them. Just then, another message pops up. "Open the door." My eyes lock on the door. It's closed. But the handle slowly turns. Someone on the other side is pushing against it. My hands are ice cold and trembling. I decide not to move, but then a faint sound comes from behind the door, a scratchy, dragging noise, like nails scraping against the wood. Tap, tap, tap. Suddenly, another message appears. "If you don't open it, I will." I gather my courage and hold the door shut. A force from the other side pushes back. The door shakes violently. Then, silence. Seconds stretch into eternity. Cautiously, I reach for the door. No more pressure. Is it gone? Then, from the other side, I hear whispering. The voice is deep and unnatural. Something is murmuring. I strain my ears, but I can only make out one sentence. "I'm still here." Silence returns. I don't dare open the door. I lift my phone to check the message again, to see the number. But the number is gone. The only message left on the screen reads, "Until next time."
I never used to be afraid of the dark. It started a week ago. A feeling, an unease, like someone was watching me. I brushed it off, convincing myself I was imagining things. But then, the messages started. The first one came late at night. A simple text from an unknown number. "I see you." My stomach twisted. I lived alone in a quiet apartment on the outskirts of the city. I locked my doors. I checked my windows. Nothing was out of place. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone. That night, I slept with the lights on. The next day, another message. "You looked so peaceful, sleeping." A chill crept up my spine. I checked the locks again. I didn't have any security cameras, but I regretted that now. I tried to ignore it. Maybe a prank? Maybe some sick joke? But deep down, I knew it wasn't. That evening, I took a different route home from work, taking extra turns, doubling back to see if anyone was following me. No one was. I was being paranoid, right? Until I reached my apartment. The front door was unlocked. I was sure, absolutely sure, I had locked it. I stood frozen, listening. Silence. My heart pounded so hard I thought it might burst. I stepped inside slowly, phone gripped in my shaking hand. The apartment smelled the same. Nothing looked disturbed, but Something felt off. Then, I saw it. On my bed, my own pillow turned over. A single strand of hair curled against the fabric. Not mine. I backed out of the room, hand fumbling for my phone. I called the police, but when they arrived, they found nothing. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints that didn't belong. "Change your locks," the officer said. "Be careful." That was all they could offer me. That night, I pushed a chair under the doorknob and stayed awake until dawn. By the next night, the messages became pictures. The first was of me leaving work. The second of me turning the corner toward my street. The third of me standing at my front door, keys in hand. The final one was taken inside my apartment. I don't remember screaming, but I must have. My hands trembled as I scrolled through the images again, trying to make sense of the impossible. The last photo, grainy, slightly blurred, was of me sitting on my couch staring at my phone. The exact position I was in, right now. My breath hitched. My eyes darted around the room, every shadow a threat. The windows were locked. The door still had the chair pressed against it. No one could have gotten in. No one could have... Another message. "Don't move." I couldn't breathe. The air around me felt thick and suffocating. My skin crawled with the unbearable sensation of eyes. Eyes I couldn't see, but I felt. I wanted to run, but where? My apartment wasn't safe. Nowhere was safe. Then, a new sound. Not a message. Not a call. A whisper. Behind me. "I told you not to move." I spun, my stomach lurching, but the room was empty. Nothing but the cold glow of my phone screen. I turned back, gasping for air, and my blood ran ice cold. A new picture had been sent. My phone nearly slipped from my hands as I stared at it in horror. The photo was taken from inside my apartment, directly behind me. I bolted. I didn't care where, just away, away, away. I yanked the chair from the door, wrenched it open and ran. Down the hall, down the stairs, onto the street. My breath came in ragged gasps. The city felt too quiet, too empty. I ran to a friend's house, banging on their door until they let me in. I told them everything. The photos, the messages, the presents. They called the police. Again, nothing was found. But I knew the truth. Someone was watching me. Someone had been in my apartment. Someone was still there. I never went back. I left everything. My clothes, my furniture, my life. It didn't matter, none of it mattered. Because the messages followed me. I moved cities, I changed my number, I lived with a friend, I barely slept. But one night, as I lay awake staring at the ceiling, my phone buzzed. One new message. "I found you.